Happy Friday, Grizzlies. I'm Ben Price.
And I'm Ethan Stevenson. Welcome back to GNN News.
Grizzlies, this week we've got some exciting news. We will be covering why sports are delayed and how to take care of your device.
So stay tuned because GNN News starts now. Starting off, we will talk about sports being delayed from COVID-19. Cases rising. Let's go to Mr. Landon for more information.
So due to COVID-19, fall 2020 sports were postponed or delayed. Some were canceled. Sports were scheduled to start the 1st of August, and they actually ended up being pushed to a start date somewhere in early September. All the seasons were shortened. Volleyball, football, and cross country had shortened seasons. 7th grade tennis had a shortened season. 8th grade tennis will be played in the spring. Golf was canceled, but Mrs. Watts was able to help us out, and we were able to host golf here at River Glen as a club. And so they didn't play other schools, but they were able to still participate in golf at Shadow Valley Golf Course. By delaying the sports seasons, we were able to implement some proper protocols due to COVID-19. It gave us time to better prepare for what the athletic scenarios were going to look like, purchasing PPE, hand sanitizer, things like that, and also giving families and students enough heads up as to what to expect and what those sports are going to look like. Honestly, it did help out quite a bit to delay those sports seasons, and we were still able to participate in athletics. When we looked at the opportunities to have sports, we felt that it was important to try as hard as we could to safely have athletic programs in the fall. And by delaying and pushing the start dates back and condensing the season, we felt like we were able to limit risk and exposure. In hindsight, our fall athletics were extraordinarily successful with avoiding COVID-19 cases. District-wide, we had about 1,400 athletes participate in junior high athletics, and I believe we were somewhere around 5 confirmed cases district-wide by the time the fall sports seasons had concluded. So it sounds like we did a great job in minimizing the risk and exposure and allowing the athletes to have opportunity to participate in their sports. Our next sports seasons will be girls basketball. It has begun. It's currently paused due to the high spike in COVID cases. Our goal is to resume that season after Thanksgiving break, or possibly slightly before Thanksgiving break. In the event the cases are still on the rise, we decided to move that season to January, and it will run right before boys basketball. And then wrestling would normally be this time of year. That's going to be March 8th is when wrestling will start. So that's kind of a snapshot as to what the next athletic opportunities look like for River Glen. In the spring, we'll have, as I said, wrestling. We'll have 8th grade tennis, boys and girls, track and field, and 9th grade tennis.
Do you care for your Chromebook like a baby? Well, people take care of their babies, so now we'll show you how to take care of your Chromebook baby.
Hello everyone, I'm here to talk to you briefly about taking care of your Chromebooks now that each of you has your own personal device that you will use until you leave junior high school. So yes, 7th graders, you're going to keep yours until you leave in 9th grade. Same thing with 8th graders and 9th graders. You'll turn yours in before you head off to Capitol. So yes, you want to keep as good a care of these devices as you possibly can. So let's go over a few quick things to help you make the most of them. First one, keep it out of the cold. You do not want to leave your device in your car or somewhere cold like a garage. If it's cold, it may not want to turn on the next morning, and you can maybe kind of freaking out like, I need my device for school. But let it warm up and you should be able to turn it on. So please don't keep it out in the cold. Second thing, keep it clean. Please wipe your devices down often with a disinfecting wipe or some cleaner sprayed on either a soft cloth or a paper towel. You should never spray your device directly with a cleaner. You can easily ruin your touchpad, your keyboard, and your screen. So you should always wipe it down with some kind of a cloth or a wipe. And you should do that once or twice a week, or even every day. All right, next thing. Please don't eat over your device. We know a lot of you do this, especially after you turned in devices to get new ones. We had to clean those, and boy, some of them were not good. Food and drink can mess up your keys. It makes them stick. It can make them pop off. It can also ruin your screen, your keyboard, and your touchpad. So we get it. You might want to have a snack here or there while you're having class, but please don't eat over your devices. All right, next one. Carry it with care. Be careful with your device in your backpack. This is super important. We are already seeing especially screens that have been cracked and that need to be replaced. When you put those in your backpack, you want to make sure you're not squishing it between your books and your binders. You want to make sure that you are not throwing your backpack on the floor, that you're taking care of that as you're putting it down. Screens are super delicate and they can be easily squished. So if you haven't purchased your insurance and you don't take very good care of your backpack or your devices, you may want to do that. So please be careful in your backpacks. All right. Charging. Be sure to charge your device every night. Plug it in somewhere near your backpack so that you can just toss it in there in the morning. You may even be able to leave your charger at home. Most devices will last all day on one charge. It is easy to misplace your chargers and it's easy to mix them up. If you lose your charger, you are responsible for purchasing a new one. It is not covered by your insurance. So please make sure that you're taking care of your chargers and charging your device at home so you're ready for school every morning. And finally, if you are using a personal device, and that's perfectly fine, please be aware that you will have to do your own troubleshooting with it, and sometimes you might have some problems with the Wi-Fi. The only Wi-Fi you have access to is the guest Wi-Fi. And do remember that just because it's your personal device doesn't mean that you could be on whatever website you want whenever you want. You should keep it school related and be sure to follow your teacher's instructions on what you should be accessing online. All right. So that is some ideas on how to take care of your Chromebook. Please be sure that you are treating them with respect and that you only use your device. You should never be using a friend's device or swapping devices out between anyone else. If you have any problems, please be sure to let a teacher know.
Thank you. Now we have Presley to inform you on the sports that aren't paused.
Grizzlies, and welcome back to GSPN. I'm your host, Presley Wortham, and today we have college football, the NFL, and River Glen sports to cover. So stay tuned because GSPN starts now. Starting with college football, the Broncos took on BYU last Friday at Albertson Stadium and sadly did not take the win. The BYU Cougars won 51-17. Football is back for the Oregon Ducks. They played Stanford and won 35-14. With the NFL, Raiders played the Chargers last Sunday and won with a score of 31-26. Kansas City had a close game on Sunday, but took the win against the Carolina Panthers with the final score of 33-31. Also on Sunday's game, Patrick Mahomes reached 100 career touchdown passes. No quarterback has done that in fewer games than Mahomes. The Steelers are now 8-0 after beating the Cowboys in Sunday's game with the finishing score of 24-19. For our River Glen sports, girls basketball has started and the first game is still being determined. Thank you all for tuning in and we'll see you next week on GSPN. This week in history, the 1971 the U.S. spacecraft Monitor 9 became the first spacecraft to orbit another planet, Mars.
Quote of the day, "Don't stop until you're proud" by Anna Calibre.
Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next week on
GNN News.
How bizarre, how bizarre.